time for FlorenceBallardA3060 reviews. Today's product is this wonderful White Knight compact 3.5kg tumble dryer model C38AW, and you're watching FlorenceBallardA3060 on film. So the product you have in front of you here is a wonderful White Knight made by Crosley model C38AW compact reversing vented tumble dryer. This model boasts a 3.5kg capacity, which is actually quite big for a compact, considering that most are 3kg or 3.1kg for certain older models. This model was introduced in September 2017, and it's one of their recent models. It was replaced by I believe it was a C38AW before White Knight officially closed their Crosley factory. I believe they closed that last year. I think it was 2019 they closed it. So they no longer make their dryers there now. This design dates as far back as the early 1980s, or the mid 1980s actually, with Philips. The design is by Philips, and it continued through all that time. They've just altered different things about the models throughout the ranges. From 2001 to 2011, not actually to 2016 I had it, but it lasted to 2011. I had a full-size condenser version, which was the WK767 in silver with the chrome door. Those are the ones that featured a reversible door hinge, so you could reverse the way the door opens. I don't think you can on this one. Unfortunately. No, you can't on that one. So, and that one actually, it was fairly a bit noisy, but it dried very well, and that lasted us quite a long time until the roller bearings went on it. Well, I think it's the felt pads around it, those bearings, and it might have been the actual motor itself that went, and I know the heating elements weren't working properly on it. But enough rambling about the history. We're going to talk through some of the features on this, and we're going to demonstrate a simple drying load, and I'll give you some maintenance tips and a final review on this. So have a little look at the control panel. Basic layout, being a compact dryer. It's perfect for people who don't have the space for a larger dryer, or if you have a large family and you, aside from having, say, a washer-dryer combo, you want to have something extra. I've known some people who have had these, or if you have a regular big dryer, you might have this somewhere else. It is a vented dryer, and pretty much all compact dryers come as vented, apart from one or two models by Zanussi from the Electrolux group. Back in the early 2000s, they did a condenser one. It never really took on, which was a shame. So this one has a vent, which is the hose there. You throw it out of a window or into a wall fixture. Not by using, as I would not recommend from one of my previous reviews, not the condenser dryer box, because they don't work at all. But anyway, this here is your dryer setting timer. It has one rotation, so it doesn't have different programs, it's just got different times, ranging from 127 minutes, we can go a little bit further as well, 127 minutes all the way around to here, which is, well, 0, but this is a 10-minute cool tumble where the dryer switches off the heating elements and just continues to tumble using the cooling down air, which gradually cools itself. It reduces creasing, and it just makes the load and the dryer itself a little bit more safer to touch. As you can see from this Union Jack, it is proudly made in the UK, and it is even first for quality, as you can see by the sticker. White Knight are known for their very robust products. So this one, as you turn it in a clockwise direction, never try to turn it this way, because you can actually damage the timer. It's a bit like timer control washing machines, you never turn it the other way. So you just turn it around, it clicks for every notch, This dryer will advance round in segments of 2 minutes, so every 2 minutes you'll hear the timer go. So it just goes all the way around. 127 minutes is your standard cotton program for a full load. I'll explain a bit more why the timings are quite long for certain programs. It will differ between these and older white knights. And then you go all the way around. 66 minutes is your standard cotton program for a half load. Again, it all depends. This heat setting has 2 functions to it. Go all the way around, and at this moment, your element shuts off, and it just uses the dryer fan to cool the load down gradually until we click off. Move over. So here we go. As you can see, it does say it's important to read the instruction manual. If you're not familiar with how to use these dryers, it's important to use that. It also is a reversing tumble dryer. White Knight do certain models that don't reverse, they just go in one direction, and these ones reverse. And this one is a 3.5 kilogram, whereas most of the other models are 3 kilogram. It's not really noticeably a difference. I did own a 3 kilogram compact Creeder dryer before. It was the Debonair compact reverse air. Didn't really notice the difference in it being half a kilogram more. Now you've got your heat selection and drying guide here. So this rocker switch controls your heat. It's a simple heat setting. You either have low heat, which is very low on this. This dryer has a 1200 watt heater or a 1.2 kilowatt heater, which is a lot lower than most other dryers that you would have known. So low heat is 600 watt on this for acrylics and say very fragile items like delicates if you do dry them. If you do decide to dry woolens, because you can actually tumble dry woolens, just use it on a low heat setting and you dry those for 20 to 40 minutes. And then high heat, which is what I'll always use, polyester cotton, and it tells you 40 to 60 minutes, and it's got cotton dry 127 minutes for the full load, for the half load, and half load is 66 minutes. Sorry, full load is 127. Just flip that. All it is a simple control. It doesn't have any other sort of variable heat setting or different drying programs like a lot of full-size dryers nowadays will have. Neither is this a sensor dry model. White Knight did do sensor dry models, but all it did was it just switched off the heat when it detected that the load was dry. It didn't give you any countdown of how much humidity remains like today's dryers do. So we have a look inside. So to open, you have a simple handle behind here. Pull that in, and it just, as you see here, releases the catch. So this is your drum. I believe this is stainless steel. On the door, this is a very significant design to White Knight and Crossley / Phillips. This is basically a clothes guard to stop your garments getting pulled and moving over here and getting pulled around here and ripped. So you can see there's a lot of dust here. This here is your lint filter. You must clean this out after every use. You can see I've just done a load here and I purposely left the lint in so I could do this. So I'll talk more about maintenance at the end of the video. But if you want maximum dryer performance, you must clean this out after every cycle, especially if you dry something like towels, which produce a lot of lint, and that just slides back here. You can also vacuum this out. It's what I tend to do every week. And then it even says here along the side, warning, clean the filter after each load. Failure to keep clean will trip the heater cut out, and to reset, there's a button at the back. You can also start a fire as well. I will be doing a video at the end again about maintenance, and I will explain about dryer fires as well. There's your 3.5 kilogram drum. You've got 3 paddles here, rather thin ones, but it tumbles around like that, basically. And your heat comes from the back, out here, and then through here. It has got a plastic window, but this is what I like about this dryer. I like my old Creeder, I could never see inside it. Of course, if you have bought one brand new, you'll have this sticker on here. Please remove the transport brace from inside the drum. Open loading door, but of course I did not buy this brand new. And I'll show you, this here is your date code, serial number. Obviously that means 2017 week 36. So here is the rating sticker, just to show a bit of extra information. Beside it you have a cable tie, so you can just hang your cord over that part. But here is the information on it. So it tells you it's a C38AW model. The heater is 1200 watts and the motor is 200 watt, altogether for a combined power intake of 1400 watts. It tells you all the 50 hertz, 13 amp. It just gives you a little bit more information on everything else, serial number, and it's, you know, yeah, just in case you need to see all those. I'm working on camera a bit funny there. They didn't like that. There you go. And this little red fan shaped thing here, that's your heater cutout reset. If your heater cuts out, just press it in and it resets it. And there's your dryer hose. These ones are rear venting dryers. So what you do is, as I showed in the, if you haven't seen the W Pro one, condenser box, how to attach this, you attach this to the dryer hose and pop that in, and then that'll go out a window or through the wall. Before doing a drying load, make sure your dryer's position allows plenty of ventilation. There are 2 inlet vents, well 3 actually, it's 2 at either side. There is actually one underneath the dryer, which is why the dryer is actually on 2 wheels at the back and 2 sort of studs at the front. But that one underneath isn't too important, it's mainly the 2 at the side that just allows air in and allows things to circulate properly. With this dryer you'll be wanting maximum circulation, as I will explain. Because this dryer is a 1200 watt heater, most compact dryers today, even still produced, are up to 2000 watt or 2 kilowatt, which means you'll have a 1 kilowatt and 2 kilowatt heat setting. That's what dryer brands like Hotpoint and Indesit tend to keep their power. White Knight I think went down the eco-friendly range, or sort of, you know, eco-friendly design. It does dry well, just takes a little bit longer than normal, so do make sure your laundry is spun out, I think, efficiently before you put it in this dryer. I think they go by the drying times is if it's been spun at like an average speed of 1400 or 1600 RPM. Of course, the faster your washing machine is, the better, but if you have a spin dryer, that's even more handy. But if not, I do recommend not to load this thing more than about, say, 3/4 full if you want it to dry efficiently. It's going, does it? To the bottom of it. So I'll just jam mine in tightly, and that's that. Alright, so here is a typical drying load with this dryer. What I'm going to do, I have a load of average work clothes. This is what I normally dry in this dryer. I do a load of towels now and again. There are some towels in here that need to be dried, but do not dry. I'd recommend drying towels on their own because of the amount of lint they produce. You can rub off on other garments. So this is a load of trousers, a pair of thermal leggings, thermal shirt or jumper, sweatshirt, sweater, and a polo shirt. And that's roughly about half full. This has been spun in a washing machine at 1300 RPM for 2.5 minutes. No spin dry afterwards. And then I use these. Now this is, again, it's not going to affect the dryer really. I use these eco-friendly dryer balls, which I brought from Asda for about, I think it's about £5 or something, or £3.50 or so. They just replace the need for dryer sheets. If you use dryer sheets, fair enough, but just be aware they can bleach your clothes and can develop severe allergic reactions, as I learnt the hard way once. They sadly don't do bounce. When you brought these dryers, they used to come with a box of bounce dryer sheets. My 2001 White Knight came with that. It's a shame they don't do it anymore. That's that. So you put those in. Make sure you clean the lint filter out. Good to go. Now, it would be most recommended to plug your dryer straight into a mains socket. In my room, I've only got two actual main sockets, and both of them are in use, and one is behind my sofa bed, so the dryer does not have a very long cord on it. It only is about, I'd say, about 2 meters. It's not going to reach very far. If you can position it into where there's a mains outlet, perfect. If not, they don't always recommend you to use an extension lead, but if you do, get yourself one of these ones. This is a surge guard one, which protects against any voltage spikes, or if it's during a thunderstorm or something, it will trip the power, which is what this green light is for surge. I've used all this and I don't ever have a problem with it. This dryer doesn't pull too much out of the mains, but you're mainly your older dryers or full-size dryers with a 2 kilowatt heater, even some with 3 kilowatts there are, some much more bigger dryers. Then again, 3 kilowatts tends to be more for commercial dryers, so you're not particularly going to have one of those in your bedroom or so. I've got mine in here because it's the most, it's my dryer and I have it in there. We're good to go. We'll look at the programs now. So for this load, I normally do an average of 42 minutes for this, or about 50. between 42 and 52. I do at 50 because the dryer takes about 4 minutes in total to completely come up to temperature. So I'm going to select my heat setting first. For this dryer, if you have the exact same model or it's a 1400 watt or 1200 watt, always select high heat. Low heat will pretty much give you no drying at all. I've dried delicates even on high heat and it's not done anything to them. So, because the high heat setting on this is the low heat setting on other dryers technically, which have a higher. I'm going to turn the dial. I'll turn it, yeah, clockwise. Dryer will come on. I'm going to turn that to 50 minutes drying. And we're tumbling away. Tumbles at a nice medium speed. If I did a white load in there, it would show up a bit better how it tumbles. But that should be a fine demonstration there. It's very quiet, this dryer, compared to some older dryers which did make quite a lot of noise. White nights tend to run very smoothly. This dryer will tumble clockwise for 4 minutes in total, and then it will stop and reverse. The reversing segment on these isn't very long. It does the job. What's good about having a reversing dryer for a compact is it untangles things like bedding and towels. Full-size dryer might not matter too much. I would say if you do a lot of large loads, yes, it's more preferable to get a reversing one. This dryer puts up with about 2 to 3 loads per day, and I've had this since May last year. Well, it was end of May last year, so I've had it for about 7 months. I'm doing this review because I'm looking to actually sell this dryer. If there's anyone who would like it, collectors wise or just anyone in general, before I stick it on Marketplace, I'm looking to get a washer dryer. And I don't have the need for this dryer because it's not to my liking, but it does the job. So we're showing the reversing function now. So reverse this for about 10 seconds and it clicks on. Unfortunately on white nights the heater shuts off during the reversing stage. Then we pause and go the other way, and then you hear a click. That's it, that's the heater coming back on. I believe it's because the fan design on white nights only allows the air to blow one way, so when it's going this way it can draw air in, when it's going the other way it can't. So that's a little bit of a disadvantage to this dryer, is that it might not be much, but for 10 seconds you probably lose about 10 degrees worth of heat. 5-10 degrees worth of heat, and that is a lot in a dryer for a compact one. The other disadvantage I have is that because this is plastic it tends to lose a bit of heat. If this was glass it would keep the heat in a bit better. But I've got to say, for a compact dryer that I just needed just for a make do dryer, it's done pretty well. I get soft fluffy towels, bathrobes, bedding, anything from this after any load. In fact, sometimes what I do when I have a shower, I quickly throw some pyjamas in here for about 10 minutes. So when I get out of the shower, they're nice and hot and I can take them out. I do that in the winter. It's a very good dryer. And I can use this one a lot later at night than I could with my other one. My Creeder one was a lot more noisy, it would vibrate. Then again, that dryer was from 1987, or was it? No, 1986 it was. So it was a 30-year-old dryer, pretty much so. You do get some dust over the front as you open it. All the dust is getting pulled out through the filter and it's going out of the hose. I'll show in a bit the hose actually venting out the vapour. And you can see this garment guard, the clothes guard does its job by preventing stuff slipping down the drum. So this is the last part of the cycle now. It goes into the cool down. This basically switches off the power to the elements, and just allows the dryer fan to keep rotating, and it pulls cool air in and disperses the rest of the heat out. This is to prevent creasing for one, and it also prevents fabric shock and allows your garments to gradually cool, and it makes the dryer a bit safer to handle as well. I might just be able to show you outside. I don't know if you'll be able to see it. It might not be very visible, but out of that hose all the steam is coming out from the dryer, and it's getting, you might see it's a bit steamy up there, it's just getting dispersed out of here. So it takes all that, so imagine all that is going into your room. It wouldn't be very good. You can probably just tell by the appearance that the load is a lot more drier than when it first went in. It does smell nice though when the dryer comes out. You know, you can smell all the fumes out, all the vapour outside. But yeah, that's doing really well. Alright, it's time to unload, so I flick this off. I'm going to do another load after this, so I keep it plugged in. I'll take it for now and feel how dry it is. And I've got to say, it's not just dried, it's perfectly dried. It's natural, if you want something perfectly dry, to feel a very, very slight amount of dampness still. You don't want to over dry it. It's always best to do a small amount of drying first, and if you feel like it's not dry, put it on there for like another 10-15 minutes or so. You don't want to over dry stuff because that damages garments after a while. I keep these in here, and then afterwards you can either use a vacuum cleaner or you just simply scrape it like this and then see what happens that way. Give it a good scrape. Now, as I have said, you must do this after every use, because if you let lint build up like this is from another load that I did, if you sit here, this can clog up the filter and your dryer will have insufficient airflow. It will be drying for much longer, taking a lot longer to dry, and if it builds up too much around the elements, it can start a dryer fire. Now, I know there's a lot of controversy over what happened with Hotpoint and Indesit. Some things were design flaws. However, any dryer can catch fire. White Knight, Hotpoint, Indesit, Maloney made, Miele, any of them can catch fire due to lint buildup. Lint is extremely flammable, and I'm going to show you something in a minute. Okay guys, before I do this, I'm going to say to you, do not repeat this or try this at home. I am doing it in a safe environment, and I have a safety remedy with me, water, in case it gets out of control. And it's going out to my balcony where there's not anything that's able to be burnt up. Because playing with fire is dangerous. It's not funny if you were to set your house on fire with something like this. But this, I'm going to show you how quickly this stuff can ignite. This is lint, or dryer fluff, whatever you like to call it. It's all the little bits of fabric that come off. Just watch how quickly that burns up. Did you see that? Yeah? I'll show you. Look how quickly that burns up. Imagine that it was in your dryer. You would not want that. Okay, that's just a safety precaution. That's how these dryer fires start. 5 minutes, you might not even be around your dryer. That catches fire inside. Next thing you know, all the plastics and cables inside your dryer are combustible as well. That basically would be your house up in flames. There have been many dryer fires that have started. I have seen one for myself. So, don't let that happen to you guys. Clean after every use and dispose of it, or you can use a vacuum cleaner if you need to. That's why I keep a pneumatic vacuum here to clean that with. So guys, my final review on this wonderful White Knight C38AW compact reversing dryer with a 3.5 kilogram capacity load. I have to say, it's a brilliant dryer. Personally, for me, it could be more powerful with the Element. I don't see why it can't be any more powerful than what it is. It could just be a lot more than what it is. But it's perfect if you need a dryer that you cannot fit a space for a large dryer, or indeed if you have a washer dryer and it's not, you know, efficient enough to dry a full load, because you can't dry full loads with them. This is perfect. Now, unfortunately, this is a discontinued model, as is all other White Knights. So the best place to look for these are refurbished appliance stores. You can find them in British Heart Foundation stores where they're tried and tested safely. Secondhand appliance stores, or indeed there will be some places on eBay that will still sell these as leftover stock brand new. It might not be this model in particular, it could be the model next one up, or from the replacement range, the C38AW, or the... there is no way to really tell by the model number if it reverses or not, so the best thing to do is look at the specifications. If you can look at the fascia, look for the reverse tumble reference on there. It might only be a 10-second tumble, which is another thing I think White Knight could improve on. Some dryers will do, say, 1 minute one way and 1 minute the other way, with the heater still going. Because this switches off the heating element for 10 or 11 seconds, you are losing vital heat in that time, which the dryer then has to catch up on the next part. It's easier to lose heat in a dryer than it is to gain heat, because the heat will quickly leave the dryer with the fan, where the heater has to repower itself up again. But some of the older White Knight dryers, I think the most powerful one they have gone up to is a 2 kilowatt heater. These weren't just made with White Knight in this design. They did Zanussi back in the day. Philips did. Service also branded theirs in the 80s. So it comes in a variety of things. I think they've been branded as Parnell before. Parnell. Oh, I don't know. I might be wrong on that one. Electra, I think, have done one like this. Pretty much many people have. But there are other compact dryers on the market, such as Hotpoint still do theirs. Indesit still do theirs. They're 4 kilogram ones. They are a bit of a bigger drum, but they follow the same principle and design. However, White Knight have been known for their sturdiness and their quality for decades. Crossley is their manufacturer, or Philips. I mean, my White Knight condenser one I had though it was noisy, it lasted very long and it dried so well. So just make sure you've got sufficient venting for this window or through a hole in the wall if it's permanently installed, but if it's just like me, it just gets put out the window. I hope this has helped you guys. I will list some prices in the description as always, and thank you very much. Please hit the like button if you think this was helpful. This is just some stuff for the winter that I'm going to help you on. The next one you'll enjoy, it will be my electric Radiant Fire, and I've been showing you some other heaters that we could possibly look at online as well. Thank you very much for watching, guys, and don't forget to stay safe and keep it supreme and go with the flow.